They lived with my grandmother, so did my mother, but my
Right.
mother would only come on the weekend.
Right. So, but what town did your grandmother live in?
My grandmother
Was
lived
it
in,
Shediac
let me
or
see, she lived in Garanti, in Cookine.
Gorkine?
Cookine, yeah.
Okay.
My father came from Garanti. That was my father.
Oh.
Not Raymond, not Arsenal.
Arsenal, but
No,
Poirier.
Poirier.
So
Yeah.
how did she meet your father?
Well, this is another long story.
I love them all.
Wait,
Oh,
I haven't heard the rest of the first story
oh,
yet.
sorry.
I wanted to know
Well, I
what
will,
she
but
did
yeah, yeah.
when she went
I
to
just
work
started.
in Moncton. What kind of work did she
She was
do?
a cook.
She was a cook.
She was a cook.
Oh.
She went first, and then she had her brother John come, and then she had her sisters. One was a chambermaid, another one was a waitress, a good woman, and the boys were the ones that worked in the stable with the horses, because they had horses.
So the whole family went
So
to
there
work.
were four of them down there,
Okay.
and they'd go home. My mother would go home every week because to see the children. You know, my grandmother was taking care of. Little Mitch was only 2 years old.
So she had 5 children then
Yeah,
when
she
her first
Well,
husband
her-
died.
No, she was pregnant with the fifth one, but he
Oh.
died when he was
And he
2 years
died.
old.
Oh.
Yeah, she
okay.
had 2 girls and 2 boys left.
Okay.
So she did that for a while, and until they were pretty along in years, the children, and when she decided, but then I guess she met my father. My father's wife, I understand, told her that his wife died, was buried. They were buried the same day, only one in one community and the other one in the other. But they were buried on the same day. That's what.
Wow.
Yeah,
How old was she when her first husband died?
she was 28.
29.
Oh, young. And what did he die of?
He died of a heart attack.
He was
Was
39.
He was only 39.
She was only 39.
He was-
He was only 39.
Wow.
Yeah.
But 11 years older than her.
Yeah.
So then she met Fidel.
Well, then how she met him was that I guess she met him when she came to the States here, because she worked, I don't know how many years she worked there, because like that, until the children were pretty big, I guess. I have no idea how many years, but my father had come to the States to work in Oxford in a mill. And when she was working with these people, and this company a company that ran this mill in Oxford, they were involved with the people that she was working with in Moncton. And this family that was there asked her, they had children and they wanted her to be a nanny, but they were coming down here to run this boarding house where this mill was that my father was working at in Oxford. So she decided to come to work. And she left all the children there, and she came down here to work for the nanny, because I guess it paid pretty good.
Oh.
And when she was at that nanny was the boarding house that my father used to board at, because he was working in the mill and he'd come there to, that was his boarding house. So that's where they met.
Oh.
I think that they knew one another before that.
Oh, they did.
Oh yes, they knew one another, because those people in there, they all mingled together. I guess they knew one another from when, most of the people in those little towns.
Yep. Yep.
So that's where they met,
Wow.
down there. And then they decided to get married, and
Was
my-
he a bit older than her also?
my father,
Yeah.
I think they were pretty much the same year, the same age.
Okay.
Yeah,
Because he had 5 children?
he had 4. She had 2 girls, 2 boys, and he had 2 girls, 2
Oh,
boys.
so why did I think they each had 5?
No,
Okay, so they each
4.
had 4, and then
4.
they had 5 more together.
yes. Yeah.
That was mine and ours.
She had
13.
6 really,
13,
but
that's-
the
But one
oldest one
died.
died.
So 13 children.
Did you tell them how she came to marry Pierre Arsenault?
No, how did that happen? He was quite a
When
bit
she
older.
married Pierre Arsenault, in those days, it was more or less, they didn't court too much. They used to meet one another on the opposite side of the street.
Going to church, going to
Oh,
church.
my
Used to
God.
walk
Going to
on the
church?
opposite side of the street, and they owned a farm. Of course, each of them, the parents owned farms, and I don't know just exactly. He never told me when he asked her to get married, but that's how they ordered, I guess. And then I
He
guess
didn't ask her though. He asked her father.
Yeah.
yeah,
He
well,
didn't ask her. He went and asked her
Dad,
father.
yeah.
right.
Yeah.
That's the way they did it.
They
in
never
those days.
dated or anything. They just saw each other on the opposite side of the
Oh, for
street.
heaven's sake.
Yeah,
Isn't that funny?
yeah,
Isn't that funny?
Wow.
Yeah.
So-
Interesting.
yeah. So
And they
then,
were married. Fidel and her were married in Charlestown, Massachusetts.
Who?
Fidel and
Oh, they were married in Charlestown?
yeah,
Oh.
Massachusetts. In June, it was a June, and I forget, it was either 1902 or
I
1904.
thought you got married in the winter.
No, I actually just saw, the other day, the marriage certificate,
Oh yeah, but it was in her first marriage. It was in the winter.
maybe.
Yeah, I know she-
Yeah, it said
And then he
June, I
went and
think
got-
6th or 7th.
After they got married, he went and got his 4 children, and my mother went and got his 4 children, and then they moved in Fitchburg, Gardner. It was in Gardner they lived at first.
Oh, okay. I thought that you were all born in Canada.
No, she
Not
was born
me.
here.
No,
Wasn't Dad
it
born?
was the first
born in
Yeah.
litter.
Canada?
That was the
Yeah, it
first
was.
litter.
Right.
That was
What
born
about,
in
wasn't Dad too when he came here?
Yes.
Yep.
just,
went back.
Just him, because when we went down there during the war, the First World War, my father still had his house there. Hi. Hi. This,
Hi,
this,
Janet. Hi, Kath.
this is
This is
Kathy.
Kathy.
Hi, how
Kathy.
are you?
I'm good.
I haven't seen you in a year.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Sorry to interrupt.
Have a seat.
okay.
She's just
Hello.
telling us an interesting story.
She's telling us how Grandpa was born while he was born in Canada.
Yeah, so we want to know, everyone else was born in this
The
country?
history of the Poiriers.
Oh,
Yeah,
except for the
That's
first
what
one.
we are to know.
Well, I am. So before it runs out, go ahead. Tell us before my video runs out.
So, you were all born in this country except Dad.
Yes.
The last, yes,
last one.
the Poirier family.
Yes.
Yeah.
How did that happen?
Well, how it happened was, when the First World War came, my mother had Mitch. That was they would have drafted him, and she didn't want him to go into the war. So my father still had his house in Canada, so she said, I'm going to move down there. I'm going to go down there while the war is going on, so they won't draft Mitch. And Raymond was married during this time, and he was living in Canada, and he was cutting ice, like I said. You know, there was a nice house. So she moved down there, and while we went down there, apparently she was pregnant. So while we were in Canada, Rene was born.
Oh, okay, that's how that happened.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So that, and
And so,
then we stayed there during the war.
Yep.
And when we came back, Rene was 2 years old.
okay.
2 years old. He was big guy.
Was he?
Oh, he was a big baby. God, he swallowed like this.
It's like Gary.
He always stayed that way, I guess.
yeah. Yeah, he was a big baby.
So my son Michael looks a lot like him.
Yeah.
And
He's a big baby
probably,
He came
yeah.
into the house yesterday, and I just wasn't expecting him. I was expecting you.
Oh.
I looked up and I did a double take because I just saw Dad.
Yeah.
Then I realized it was Michael.
Him and Matthew.
I
Yeah.
was telling
Matthew
Janet
too.
that your father looked a lot like my father.
He did.
Yes,
Matt and
when
Michael
I
look a
said
lot
when
alike.
I went to when it wake
Mike,
at this wake in
Yeah.
North Attleboro, when I walked in there, I said, whoever I was with, I said, oh my goodness, that's my father.
Really?
Yeah, he looked so much like my father.
Wow. Wow. Yeah. So, because we never knew our grandfather.
No, you didn't.
No.
So
no.
how did he die?
book you have?
No,
How did your father die?
The same family.
My
That's mother's family.
father died. He had trouble with one leg. From the time I understand, my mother always said that it was when he was young. They used in the spring of the year he went walking in the cold brook, and he got some disease on the leg or something, and that leg always bothered him. And he had leakage of the heart. I knew that, right along. Leakage of the heart. And then I remember when he died, my mother took care of his leg. His leg was kind of gangrene,
Yeah.
like it was, and she kept him home. She took care of him at
Yeah.
home,
Yeah.
and he died from that leg.
Oh, he
But
did
I-
from gangrene.
Yeah, so I don't
Oh, wow.
know if it was a mixture of the heart.
What exactly is leakage of the heart?
Well, it's when your
It's a leaky
valve
valve.
doesn't work
Oh,
right.
your
And
leaky
I've got-
valve.
I
Okay.
got a
valve.
heart defect.
So now you know
You
you've
got
got it from your
No
great
one else
grandfather.
has it
Your
except for
great-
me.
your
It's,
great grand-
it's
What's it
inherited.
called?
Jerry's kids, 3 of Jerry's kids have it.
Yeah.
The bicuspid. I have a bicuspid aortic valve.
She
You're
has
supposed
the
to have
same thing,
3
leakage
down,
of the
3
heart.
down
I
to
only
have
have
2.
She
Same with Justin.
She said she has the same thing.
Yeah,
Leakage of the heart.
Justin and
Leakage of the heart.
2
Well,
or 3.
I don't
today,
have any leakage
like
yet.
my
2 or
doctor
3
always
of her
said,
kids have that
if
same
you
thing.
have to tell them when you go
Yeah,
to
I
your
have
doctor,
it.
you
Yeah.
have to tell them
3
that
years ago.
you're to pull the life, sorry.
Inherited.
And they said leakage of the heart is well treatable now.
Oh yeah.
They treat it very well.
Yeah, yeah.
But at those days, I guess they
Might be
didn't do
good
much of anything.
Yeah.
They didn't know how.
It's really strange.
Chelsea doesn't have
I
it.
didn't know
Madison
that.
doesn't have it.
Was that just an
Jerry's kids
echo?
have it.
Was it an echo that
Oh, here.
figured that out?
This is for you.
'Cause I've had
It
2
was an
echoes.